Ooh, excuse me. I really wish that burp came at a different time. We are live. We got in a minute early. I'm just going to give everyone a second to join us. Pull up Twitch on my phone. All right. Ooh, sorry for those of you who caught that right away. I didn't mean to let that rip live. That's a bad look. Logan, welcome, brother. Nice. Logan, did you catch the burp live? Or no? I hope no one caught that. I'm a little gassy right now. Woo! I caught it. All right. Maybe, hopefully, you were one of few. I don't know who else is going to be joining us tonight. I know it's the holidays. I know, it's the weird pickle in between Christmas and New Year's. So we'll see who joins us. I'm going to give everyone another minute or two. Logan, how's your Christmas, brother? Good? All right. Navigating the noise. All right. King Swab in the building. Swab, it was so good to see you the other day, brother. Absolute pleasure, man. You're a legend. Good to have you here, my guy. Seriously. Who's the co-host? Logan, no co-host today. Y'all are stuck with Zach AZ all alone today. Unfortunately, just due to circumstances and what we got going on and, how the podcast is going to look moving forward, it was either I was going to be riding solo dolo tonight, or I didn't ask Environmental Mike what he was doing. And he's doing trivia tonight, so we all wish Environmental Mike the best of luck at his trivia. There's no way he's good at trivia. I highly doubt it, but best of luck to Big Mike. And then I asked a couple other, friends to maybe fill in, but they have some work. And that's really where we're at. And I do have some super, super exciting news to announce at the end of the podcast. So that will come up at the end of the the hour. Johnny Perna, welcome. Nice to have you here, Johnny. Appreciate you here, being here, man. But all right, we're gonna get going in a second. Just let me pull up my Twitch link. But yeah, welcome everyone to episode 11 of Navigating the Noise. All right, and I titled this episode 2025 Wrap Up and Reflection. So a lot's happened this year, and obviously this is the first episode that I am streaming down while I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, my new home. And I made it here in one piece. For those of you who are wondering how the ride went, we made it. We are live, and I'll be straight up with you guys. Hold on, let me just pull this up. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Give me 1 second. We got it up. Sorry, just so we have that up. And the ride was long. I'll be real with y'all. The ride was 14 and a half hours. So last episode, I was in my boy Big Mike's basement, and I'm actually in his bedroom right now. And due to Big Mike's request, he said not to show his room. He was nice enough to let me, stream in his room tonight. So I'm going to respect Environmental Mike's decisions. But on last week's stream with Big Mike, I said that the ride was going to be long on that train, and it was going to be a process. And I was going down on Christmas Day, and that there was going to be a lot of emotions that were involved with taking a train on Christmas. It's weird, seeing everyone post on their Instagrams, pictures of the Christmas trees and, them opening presents with their families. And, I have a lot of friends that are in this age bracket where they're buying new homes or getting apartments, and decorating their houses and their places for the first time. And I'm sitting here on an Amtrack down to Charlotte, North Carolina to restart my life. And although like I was super excited with everything that was going on and with the opportunity and what was in store for me, um, I was feeling some type of way. Um, it's not like easy, and social media makes things like, very difficult, especially during the holidays for me. With what I have going on recently, I need to be on social media a lot. Um, but it's tough to see some things. I don't know if I shared with this on last week's episode, but my father's birthday was on December 16th, and then December 26th was actually the anniversary of his death. So, like, the very first day after I got down to Charlotte, I had to deal with those emotions. So a lot was happening. It was deep, and I had about 14 and a half to 15 hours to kind of reflect on everything that I was about to partake in, everything that just went on the past, at that point, 40 days. And I guess I'm going to take today's episode to kind of reflect on the journey thus far, getting down to Charlotte, how things have been going, what the first couple days have been like, and then what the plan is moving forward for the new year, not just in the personal life, but for the Navigating the Noise podcast as well. So, see, how cold is it down there, and how the women treating you down there, yups. I'm gonna get to how life is down here is in the South, man. But I will say this, TB, it's a little cold today. I will be straight up with you. I think that Northeast cold front. I ain't no weatherman. Although if any, news stations are hiring weathermen, I will be open for an interview or a tryout. Like I said, I'm an open book right now. But it was a little cold. But like TB, what was it? Second or third day here, it was like 65 and sunny, and it was crazy. I was walking down the Broadway main strip of Charlotte, the city, looking at the skyline, and there's trees that have no leaves on them, but it's the end of December, and Christmas just passed and New Year's is around the corner. And I'm like still dressed for New York a little bit. I'm still kind of transitioning into the Charlotte temperature, but very weird just to kind of face that kind of scenic sight, walking down the streets, because you're used to walking down the streets in New York City and you see, snow, and it's dark. And I don't know, Charlotte just has this bright light to it. I don't know, it's weird. And how the women treating you down there, Yebs? All I will say is that this weekend, it didn't seem like the ladies were too big of fans of the mustache. As we could see, the mustache is the new look we're rocking with. New city, new look. But hey, listen, Chipper Jones is like a 300 plus lifetime hitter. So I'm 0 for 1 right now. That's fun. That's all I'm going to say. We got plenty more pats with that one, Chrissy Cables. But I'll get into that in a little bit. But I woke up Christmas morning, and my boy Big Mike Aponte got me to the LIRR at 4:45 in the morning. And it's just surreal because I'm sitting there like with all my bags and 4 duffel bags, a backpack. Like I have like Mike, giving me the bags to fit on my shoulders. I have so much happening. I got so much happening in my mind. And I'm like, holy shit, though. Like, let me just get on this freaking train. And walking up those steps to get to the Massapequa Park platform was a pretty surreal feeling for me, because that was the town and the place where I grew up. And that was the place where my childhood went down. And this is the place where all of my memories kind of developed from, literally. Ralph's Italian Ice is right in the park. Mary's Pizzeria. Like the amount of like money I spent there and memories that I made there. Like Johnny McGorry's, which I'll get to in a little bit. Like all these places, like I never know when I'm going to get back to like Long Island and New York. I have no idea. I have some cool things in the works with like the podcast and like some other things that I'm working on the side that might bring me back to New York. And if that's where like life and fate takes me, so be it. But for now, right now, like I have no idea when I'm going to be back in New York, but I'm okay with that. But yeah, if you guys checked on my Instagram, I'm sitting there at the top of that platform and like took a picture of like Park Boulevard lit up at 4:50 right before I got on the train. And I'm just like, holy shit, am I really gonna do this? And I'll be real with y'all, I shed a tear or two, but I was like, yo, like this is kind of where life took me. And if I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm not gonna, say I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do that and go back on it. So no, when that train pulled up, I walked up into that, doorway with my chest up and my head held high, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna rip this shit down in Charlotte, and whatever happens, happens, and I'm gonna give it my best go. And if I fall flat on my face, like that's just life. And I know it sounds very corny and cliche, but like you're not going to be able to succeed in life unless you fall flat on your damn face. Trust me, as a 29-year-old who's been through the crazy amount of circumstances and chaos that I've been through, I promise you, promise you, promise you, you're going to have to take chances and fall flat on your face. So we got on that train, and listen, like that LIRR train to Penn Station was just the first step. I still had to get to Penn Station, and then I still needed to get to the Amtrack station, which is not in the direct same part of Penn. And then I needed to actually still load on that Amtrack. And I remember I got all these bags, and like I'm dripping sweat, by the way. Like I was wearing like 3 or 4 layers because I didn't have really enough room in my bags to bring down as much clothes as I wanted to. And I won't go into details, but like, my mother, who was not a part of this process, she did drop off literally all my belongings that I owned at the Aponte's house. So I had to make some decisions. What was I going to bring down with me? What was I going to donate um, to charity? So I donated a bag of clothes to like St. Rose. I just didn't know what to do. So I was wearing like, a shirt, a sweatshirt, my blue flannel, which everyone says I need to wash, but like it's my lucky flannel. I'll wash eventually. And and then my jacket. And I was dripping sweat. But I got on that Amtrak and there was like a sigh of relief. Sorry, on the LIRR, and there was a sigh of relief. There was. So I took that train ride into Penn Station. It was quiet. Um, I actually had a really nice conversation with the train conductor who kind of guided me in the right direction to kind of get towards the Amtrak once I got to Penn. And I'm not going to lie to you, for it being Christmas morning, um, I knew it was Penn Station, so I just thought that it would be a little bit more busy. Penn Station itself was pretty dead. I'll be honest with you. Um, it felt like shit though for a hot second, like struggling and dripping sweat. Like your feet are kind of dragging through Penn Station a little bit, and you're like kind of wishing that you had like an angel kind of like come up beside you and help give you a lift up on your bags. Like I put my body. I know like some of you are gonna laugh and be like, "Is he being serious?" Like I don't want to do like an episode of like MTV Welcome to My Cribs, and I'm pretty sure Peacock is going to be cooking dinner in the kitchen in a little bit when he gets back from the gym. But I wish y'all could see the amount of clothes I have that I was able to bring down with me. Like those bags were packed to a T, like heavy, like bricks in them, bricks, and like it hurt, and I think the toughest part of the trip, y'all are gonna laugh, was probably like the walk that I had to make from Penn Station to the Amtrak station. That walk was probably the most difficult one that I had to make because, like I'm just dripping sweat. I'm trying to get there, and I had plenty of time, but like I just wanted to keep the momentum going. And like people are staring at me. I had the most amount of bags at Penn Station. Even the homeless people were staring at me. Like, you alone with me, bro? I was like, yo, bro, if I don't make this train, bro, I might be end up uh playing the bongos with you. Yo, X-Men, I actually wanted to do like a cooking with Peacock episode, like where I would cook dinner with him in the kitchen tonight, but his response was quote unquote, I'm not a big social media guy. So X-Men, I'll see if when he comes home, if I could sway him when I hear the apartment door open. But yo, Peacock and Environmental Mike, they got a nice crib, yo, for real. Like they got a pad over here in Charlotte. Like I'm being straight up. Is he shy? Yeah, I don't want to speak for Peacock, but yeah, he's a little bit on the shy side. Great kid though, my absolute boy. But hey, to each their own. I sub to. Oh, okay, so anyway, so we get to you know Penn Station, and we're kind of navigating our walk to the Amtrack, and you know, it was kind of suckish a little bit because like there was one time when I was like standing in the hallway, not the hallway, but like the walkway kind of in between like the Penn Station and the Amtrak. And I was clearly like struggling with like my bags and shit. I had to like put them down, and it was clear I was doing one of these. I was like doing the like a T-Rex arm type shit. And it kind of looked like I was seizing. And I'm trying to reach down and grab the bags. And there were like 4 or 5 people that like walked by legitimately and were like, nah, like this kid's just gonna struggle and like we just gonna watch. And there's a lot of reasons why I want to get out of New York, but like the people are one of the reasons. And like that was just kind of like a nice cherry on top of like, get me out of this place. Like I love the pizza and like, I love some of like the women there, especially like, I'm just gonna be quiet and just go take this a different route. But but like I'm gonna miss a lot of things in New York, but like I promise you, like the people are not one of them. And you know, the nerves are kicking. And once I got to the Amtrak little big pit hub, it's a huge platform, a huge station, and there's like, I want to say like 12 to 14 Amtrak trains platforms, just like it is over on the Penn Station side. And I had all my bags, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired. Like, I don't want to just stand and wait for whatever platform comes up. I'm just going to plop right on this big pole right here, right in front of track 15, and that's going to be that. And I'm going to just rest. I'm going to use the restroom. It's right here. And then when the track comes up, I'll just walk all my stuff over. And I promise, legitimately, Tony Rowe, what an audible. Yeah, yeah, yo, that was some Spider White 2 banana right there. Come on, let me tell you. Listen, I forgot. This is navigating the noise. We haven't pivoted yet on the plot and where we're taking things, but yeah, I'm proud of that audible right there. I've been playing a lot of Madden on the sticks since I've been here in Charlotte. So, but I plop all my shit down, and no joke, like, I, Anthony Romano, who's in the chat, Tony Rowe, who you know is my guy and was part of something very magical that happened over the weekend. I don't want to share too much about it, but honestly, I feel like a lot of magical things happen over the past 40 days. A lot of people might be like, "Yo, Zach really went through hell. Zach really went through shit," and like, you're damn right. Like, you're damn right. Like, I have gone through fucking shit. Like, it's been a nightmare, but it has been like the most chaotic, rewarding, humbling nightmare ever. And the best part of it is that I've had such great friends just rally. And like I know I said that before, but like one of those great friends is my boy Anthony Romano. And he was like, "Yo, Zach, let me get your ass to church." And I went to church this weekend, or this 2 weekends ago before I got down to Charlotte. And you know, um I shared about it on last week's pod, but there's just been some amazing things that have happened since I've gotten to Charlotte, right before I got to Charlotte, and literally the second before I boarded on the train. And the second before I boarded the train was one of them. Um, I'm sitting there, and I'm not the biggest believer in religion, but Tony Rowe brought me to church, and I'm starting to be a lot more open of having a higher power. I don't really know what that looks like. I don't really know like who that might be, but I'm sitting there, and I swear on Eileen Craven's famous chocolate chip pancakes, man. Track 15, the Carolinian to Charlotte. I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, this is the smile because this is natural. I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, are you even shitting me right now? Like, are you shitting me right now? Like, like I literally probably had to walk like 30 feet, 25 feet. Like, if you like, I'm not making this up. Like, I literally, for those of you who followed on my personal story, like, no joke. This happened before I even got on the train. So what is that? A one in, I think, 12 chance. So I'm not saying it was like one in a million. I'm not saying like, oh, it was destiny, 100%. But like, that's a sign. Like, Zach, get your freaking doofy Polish ass down to Charlotte right now. Like, get on that train. So that's what we did. So we squeezed the lemons one more time, and we got on that train. And when we got on that train, I was like one of the last ones because I kind of waited towards the back of that line to get on because I had so much bags. I didn't want to be like causing chaos on Christmas morning. But y'all are gonna laugh. So I get on the train, and one of like the only empty seats is next to this beautiful young woman, and I'm like, say less. I like do a quick like, yo, I don't know who's looking after me, but like, damn, thank God. So I literally just, try and be smooth, do a little, Renaissance man, a little Rico Suave. And I'm just like, hey, you mind if I sit here? And she's like, sure, sure, take a seat. And we sit there, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, like I was humming in the first half. Like, yo, like running the ball when the defense thought that I was passing, like mixing in some screens, like running out of the wishbone, changing formations. And like I had this lovely lady hooked, and she tells me she's a model. She's from Brooklyn, and I'm like, oh my lord, this ride to Charlotte is gonna be the best damn ride ever. And then after like 2 hours, she put in her headphones, and that was a wrap. But but she was very peaceful to sit with, and she was coming to visit her grandmother down here for the holidays, and I wish her nothing but the best in her trip, because she made my trip down to Charlotte very enjoyable. As in, the conversation was good, and although at one point I did feel as though I maybe found my future wife, and I didn't, that's okay. I'm not making this up. I literally texted my boy Donnie, who's getting off the clock today. I don't know if he's gonna make it, but I said, yo, I found her. But no, like it was just a peaceful ride, and I had 14 and a half to 15 hours to kind of just reflect on what was going on and what was happening. And like I didn't get a window seat. I was on an aisle. um so I didn't get the chance to look at too much scenery, but I did stick my head out, the side over her, whenever I could, to kind of observe and see like the scenes. And remember, I took Amtrack all the way down from Penn Station to Charlotte, North Carolina. So we definitely made some miles, and like it was, like I said, long reflecting. Um, was I hurt for the lack of support and the lack of uh, belief from some people on the Long Island, especially my family, some of my closest homies? Yeah, absolutely. But I've learned to try and absolutely, but I've learned to Oh, I'm sorry. My alarm, it always does this. So God damn it. Oh, I'm sorry. My alarm, it always does this. See? Yo, it's so funny. That happened on Andrew Ditzel's freaking podcast too, when I was a guest over there. Oh man, I gotta shut off the alarms. Jeez. Tony Rowe, you see that? The random alarm? Yo, that's for you, big guy. I told you, I just gotta shout him out. That's crazy. All right. Let me get this back up. All right. Sorry for the technical complication. That's bad funny. Um, but no, the train ride was long. I had a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to kind of navigate noise, and yeah, need a producer. We're working on it, Chrissy Cables. Listen, we're kind of a one-man show right now. That's something I'm going to talk about at the end of the episode. Listen, we had a lot of cool things planned for navigating the noise, man. A lot of cool things. Hit the snooze button, Tony. Expect it in another 5, baby. But a lot of time to reflect, and I had some nice phone calls with some people on the ride down. It was Christmas Day, so it was weird, like people were spending time with their families, and people were opening gifts, and people were having Grandma Dukes come over and hand them envelopes with a couple hundo beans. And Zachy Z's sitting here like, quiet. My passenger homie is sleeping next to me. We're on hour 6, 7 of the trip, and it's like Christmas Day, and you're like, shit. Like reality hits a little bit, but then you're like, oh my God, Leo, like I'm not going to start over in like a random place where I don't know anybody, and like I'm going in blind. Like I have two of my best childhood friends that are there, that are like, say, yo, come here, let us help you, let us guide you and help you get going in this new place. So although there were moments on this train ride where things were very dull, like I promise you, overall, like the good 100% outweighed the bad, because I made it. Like, I made it to Charlotte, North Carolina. Like, so many people were, like, doubting me. They're like, "Yo, is this freaking crazy bozo ass really gonna restart his life down in Charlotte?" Oh, hell yeah, I am. And Imma go try and rip it, and Imma go try and crush it, and that's just how life's gonna be. Because, like, this is just the hand I was dealt. And, like I said this on last episode, but I was fucking struggling, in New York. And, like, I could play, like, this tough guy look and act like, everything's A-okay, but things were not okay. Like, those of who were close enough to me and were vulnerable enough to me and had a conversation with me were like, "Oh, hell no, like, he needs some help and giddy up." And that's why, like, it was incredible to see all of these people kinda rally and come support for me. But, that train ride, like, don't get me wrong, like, every single chance I had to step out and rip a Newport, you bet your ass I did. You know, I had a Amtrack cheeseburger. Yo, I might have to get, like, Amtrack King tattooed on me or something. I might have to buy stock in the company at this point, because I kinda mess with the Amtrak rides, I don't know, it was kind of a vibe, like, I don't know, some people were kinda like, "Ah, you gotta take an Amtrak," and don't get me wrong, the first 2 Amtrak rides were a little tough, but this one, I feel like we spoke that. I feel like the objective was complete. We made it to Charlotte. We made it to Charlotte, and, you know, people were reaching out to me throughout the day. "Yo, Zach, you can do this. Head up. Be strong, big guy." You know, and like I said, by the time I made it down to Charlotte, I was exhausted, I was tired, and I was so excited to go, you know, meet up with the homies. So, got down to Charlotte, smoked one of my last Newports, because I'll talk about that later. One of my last ports. 7-Elevens or bodegas are gonna hate this, but I smoked it, and Peacock, my boy AP, picked me up from the Amtrak station, and here we go. We're off to the races. Life in Charlotte, and it's been a really rewarding couple of days. And I'm going to speak a little bit about the city itself, some of the people I've met already, the job hunt, like Mr. Biagini said in the chat, and just like what the vibes are and like what is next for Zach down in Charlotte. So first off, the city, like I fell in love with almost immediately. Like I literally, Big Mike takes me downtown. Literally the second day, we go to Target. Shout out to all my homies who got me the Target gift card. Um, that I mentioned on last week. Another sign, by the way. I'm with Big Mike in the damn grocery store, and I turn to Mike and I just go, "Yo, dude, $150." I was like, yo, in rehab, I used to joke. I was like, in rehab, you want to talk about humbling? Listen to this story. When I was down in a rehab in Florida, they used to bring us, and us as in like the patients at this rehab, from we were aged, 18 to I think the oldest guys are 50 to 55 years old, which is a damn shame because they're still on the run and in the streets. But the staff of this rehab would bring me and the rest of these grown ass men to literally, and women, this was a co ed living one, which was crazy. And there's some stories I can't share. But we get brought to this Walmart, and we literally are watched as we have to grocery shop. And we have a $70 budget for 1 week. And they are blocking off the alcohol aisle. And you literally have to stand there and sit there. I'm sorry, not sit there because you're walking around. Obviously, we walk around and go out of the aisle. And they don't shut down the Walmart for you, by the way. Like it's not like they shut down the store and they're like, okay, now we got, like the West Palm Beach Rehab Center coming in the shop. Like, no, you got to go in there with like Florida public, and you're there like you want to talk about humbling, man. And you know, but I joked with Mike because I had the budget then off the top of my head. We didn't have a cell phone, you never use of electronics. Like if we wanted pen and paper, but I also never really had money growing up to shop. So like this was new to me. So I learned how to budget and shop really in rehab. So I don't know. It was just funny. I'm shopping around with Mike and I had $150 on this Target gift card. And I'm like, yo, number one priority has got to be groceries. So we're going to use the 150 beans. We're going to go rip the groceries. And I was like, yo, Mike, imagine if $150 we could hit it like right on the money, and we can get it like right beforehand. And he's just like, I don't know. And I'm just like singing and dancing, having fun, in Target, and we're shopping around. I'm getting my, cookie dough and my meat and, my cheese and my cereal. And we finally done shopping. And in my head, I'm trying to rip it, but I'm like, I don't know. It might be a little short, it might be a little over. I put it on my Instagram. I think the final bill after tax was like $149 and 60 something cents. And I was like, oh, another damn sign. I got to belong in Charlotte. Best belong in Charlotte, baby. That's why we're here. That is why we are here. And it was just awesome. And then after we dropped the groceries off, to make sure that the milk don't get sour, we made our way over to downtown. And Mike just showed me around, and we just pranced around downtown, showed me around different neighborhoods. He kind of pointed out, this is where this is where that is. And yo, for those of you who've never been to Charlotte, yo, Swame, shout out. Yo, we got some cold cuts, boy. Yeah. Not as good as your cold cuts, though, baby. Shout out to Swam in the chat. Shout out Swame. What up, Swam? How you doing, kid? Shout out Swam. He was able to come out and chill with me one of my last nights out in Long Island, Massapequa. But yeah, we got a little salami, a little turkey. I actually love my cold cuts so much that I had to go back yesterday with Big Mike and pick up more cold cuts. Kid loves his cold cuts, bro. But yo, Board said if you need a sponsor, hit my line. But went shopping, got all the groceries, and $149, and I was like, yo, shit, no son. But yeah, downtown was awesome. Mike shows me we're strolling around. Breweries everywhere, by the way. That's what I was gonna say. Breweries everywhere. Like every corner, every which way you turn, there's literally a brewery. Like, okay. So Zachy C's got to be very careful because Zachy Z likes his beer. I don't want to be putting on no beer belly. That's for sure. Like that's a fact. Like I'm gonna keep that a buck with you. But I don't know. It just felt like a euphoric, magical feeling. I don't know. And maybe I'm being a little biased because this is like the new place where I'm going to be living. And this is, the new spot where I'm going to be like restarting my life. But I don't know. It was one of the coolest cities I've ever checked out. I'm not really, I'm trying not to be biased, but I don't know. It was just like a vibe. I don't know. Like I said, there was something electric about wearing shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of December with the trees being bare. And you're walking down, the strip, and then you make a right, and then you make a left, and you see like the Carolina Panthers stadium there, and like it's kind of almost smack in the middle, right on the edge of the city. And then, you have like the White Sox AAA stadium, like right behind that, and like there's Lime scooters everywhere, and it's just like a very accessible, like looking like a fun, opportunistic city. And I'm just like, yo, I don't know, it felt a little bit like home. Uptown, yo, Tony Raw. I've been here for like 5 days. I'm still learning the geography. Hop off. God damn, Romano. God damn. But I don't know. It just felt right. I don't know. It's feeling right. I haven't had one glimpse of like, nah, this isn't the place I need to be right now. And I'm not gonna lock myself in and say like, this is the place forever. Like I don't want to start quoting the Bible just because I went to church one time where saying God says this or God says that. But a funny thing that I've always, or a funny saying that I've always believed in is, you make plans and God laughs. So like I have ideas that Charlotte might be a place where I spend a large part of my foreseeable future, but am I going to say, oh yeah, I'm spending the rest of my life here? I don't know. I don't know. I got to just see where life takes me. And I got to see where life goes, and I'm just blessed for the opportunity to be here in Charlotte with the people I'm around. And I don't think I'd be feeling as good if I wasn't around the people I'm with. And I want to like emphasize that, especially for the people in life who aren't around, I don't know, enjoyable people, or they feel like they're around people that are holding them down or holding them back. Like my mental health is very good right now. Like, am I tired? Yeah. Look at these fucking bags, bro. I look like a raccoon a little bit. All right. Am I still getting back on a normal sleep and eating schedule? Absolutely. I went from like eating a shit ton to not eating to back to eating. Like I'm still figuring shit out. But one thing that has been super beneficial and influential and a positive for my mental health is being around good people and talking to good people. Like, I never fully understood the strength, um, of having amazing, genuine, good people in your life. And I'm not saying in New York and Massapequa, that I didn't have that or when I was living in Queens, but through this crisis, and through this chaos, 2 things happened. 1, I figured out genuinely who my people are, and for those of you, I love you. And so I'm gonna address the stash in a second. But 2, I know that my boys, Peacock, and, Environmental Mike are genuinely good dudes. Genuinely, genuinely, genuinely good dudes. Maddie! Oh my God, Maddie popped in. Maddie, what's up, big dog? Yes, sir. Maddie's good people. I met Maddie via stream when I was actually streaming with Dev out in Pittsburgh, and I met him via Dev's live stream. He's good folk. So, Maddie, we got to stay in touch. I got to hit you up. So once I'm off the live stream, I'll hit you up. But the other thing I was gonna say was Peacock and Mike are really, really good people. Like they're genuinely good folk. So I knew I came down to Charlotte and I was like, these are my guys. Like my Mike is literally my brother from another mother. Like when you look at it, each other, um, we're clearly not related. Like he's Puerto Rican, I'm Polish, like genetically things aren't lining up. But he's one of like the greatest friends I could ever ask for. And Peacock, man, me and him, this dude literally, we were playing Rams flag football together, pulling each other's flags, yo. Like I think there was one at one point in time growing up that me and AJP Mets fan 7, we had like sleepovers back to back to back to back days. Like one night he slept at my house, and the next night I slept at his, and the next night I slept at his, and the next night like he was back in mine. And I don't know, over under 3 showers combined in those 4 days for the two of us, probably hammer the under. But my point being is like, I don't know, like it just feels different being around good people and like good friends and like I don't know. I had a lot of great like major uh you know friends down in Long Island, but I didn't see them enough. I was out in Queens. I felt a little isolated and I felt a little lonely. Um, and now I'm literally going to be living, a Tiger Woods drive away from my friends, hopefully, you know. So that's been Charlotte, man. And then I actually ended up, like I said on my live, I ended up spending some time in Charlotte on Saturday night. And I met this great dude named Ferris or Farris. If you're watching, maybe I'll send you the link. I butchered your name, but you're one heck of a dude. You're one hell of a cool ass cat. And I appreciate you, homie. And I don't know, like everyone was very welcoming. And like, I don't know, I just went out with the homies and we checked out nothing crazy. We didn't go to like no crazy clubbing or like tried to burn down the city or, close down any bars. But we did have a good time. We checked out a couple of local spots and a local breweries. And, you know, it just felt like old times with some of the boys. And I got to meet some new people who already were chopping it up. And like that dude who I met, who Peacock introduced me to, this guy is like, yo, there's might be someone leaving at my job. Maybe it's an opportunity or a conversation that me and you could have down the line. I said, yo, I'll hit you up, after New Year's. Like, I don't know. It was just like things were just lining up. And it was just kind of like, yo, Charlotte, North Carolina, like, I'm here. We here. And the breweries were fun, man. Like, Charlotte's a great ass city. I mean, like, the ladies, man. Oh, shit. I've actually fucking hit Mike's printer. Sorry about that, Big Mike. I'll pay for the paper. The ladies are phenomenal, like beautiful women. Like everywhere you look, they're just beautiful women. I'm just like, all right, got to lock in though. You got to stay focused. Like I can't, you know, steer away from the path. You know, but they were beautiful, man. Straight up. Um, the vibes. Everywhere you walked, like every other street, there was a nice little bar restaurant. Good vibes though, not like over the top or aggressive or like in your face, but just like good vibes. And there's some things that I'm not gonna share on stream just for the to save the dignity and the morale of some of my fellow comrades. But like I don't know, it just felt like old times. And, I will say though, I did bush Peacock. So like on our walk home, because I was known as a busher growing up. So like I did launch Anthony Peacock like airborne into a bush. So for the house in Charlotte whose front lawn I obliterated, or well, Anthony obliterated. Um, my apologies. But like I haven't laughed that hard in a long ass time, and it was just like I don't know. I've had so many laughs that have been like happening over these past couple weeks, and like who would have thought that like a displaced, um, you know, on the run, family kind of shutting you out, don't really know who you can trust and whatnot. Like I'm able to laugh during this. Beautiful, man. And it helps that I've been through fucking hell, but like I don't know, I'm just trying to be a genuinely happy, good person, and because of that, like hell yeah. Like I'm gonna try and laugh and smile through this and giggle at the little things, you know? Like, I don't know. Like a lot of good things to be thankful for throughout this process. Um, Charlotte's a vibe, man. Charlotte's been a vibe. So I know Biagini was like, "Oh, yo, Zach, what's the job update?" So obviously, like, although the navigating the noise has been popping off lately, and we've got like 42,000 views in the past like 30 days on the page. So like, shout out to you all because I know y'all have been popping on there, and there's a bunch of people that I think are gonna hopefully begin to start to navigate with us. But obviously, I'm not making no bread from this. And like I said, that's not the purpose of this podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to just spread good vibes, love, and positivity. So I have been on the job hunt. Unfortunately, with schools being out of session during this time, it is a weird time in the education professional field to kind of pursue mid-year hires, especially it being good year. Oh Jesus Lord. It being mid-year and then it being during the holidays. So we got that going on. And then a lot of the breweries, it was weird because like Monday, Tuesdays that might be closed. It was just the weekend, and then you have the New Year's here. So like I did put in a couple applications to some breweries, and then I did also put in some other applications to some like you know thanks Chrissy Cables. Yeah, any rub and rug places, rub and tugs. I haven't got around to that yet. It's on like it's number 107 on my list of things to do. We got a lot X-Men of things to research down here in Charlotte. We'll get around to it though. But no, like the job search is important, but I'm trying to keep my peace and keep my cool with it because like I was talking with my boy Peacock and like it was a weird time and for jobs. So like I have been on the pursuit, but I'm like not gonna overdo it and like overstress it, you know? Because like I know some people that have gone through like the job hunt and it takes weeks and weeks and sometimes even months. So like am I gonna sit here and like smash my hands every single morning because like I didn't get an email or I didn't get a phone call back? Like no. And like thankfully I have really good homies that were like, yo, straight up, if um you do the right thing and you kind of just pursue your goals and you just reflect daily and you kind of go after what you want to do, like we're not going to be rushing to kick you out. And I have two of the greatest friends, like I said, you could ask for. So like do I have like urgency? Yes, because I think it's super important for everyone in life to have urgency. Like, and I feel like if you don't have any urgency, like that's not good because you don't want to stay too comfortable in life, and too much comfortability and too much complacency allows you to fall behind, or doesn't allow you to get ahead. Uh, but I'm also being realistic. I just got down here 4 days ago. It was a Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today's the fifth day, essentially. So it's a weird time, but applications have been sent. And listen, it's no vacation, bro. My boy Big Mike has been on my ass about making sure that I'm staying on top of shit and making sure that we stay the course. Because, like I said, the number one goal is that I come down here and have success, and that's what everyone wants for me. So everyone is going to do what they can to help me get that success, and everyone knows how to do that in a different way. But Charlotte's been a vibe. Charlotte's been fucking great so far, man, and I'm loving it down here. Um, it's great, no joke. Like I don't know, I've just been waking up with a little giddy up, and like you all need to remember, like this is kind of the first time in my life in a long time where I've been like unemployed and like fully on the job search with a clear head. So I'm feeling very motivated and very clear. However, whatever comes my way, we're just gonna rip it and we're gonna take it, and that's just kind of where we're at, you know. Um, I mean, listen, and when wifey comes along. You know, a wise man once told me that, like, your true love will come find you, or like she'll just kind of appear. You don't really got to go search for her sometimes. So, and I'm single like a Pringle at 30. So, like I'm just gonna start believing in that motto. You know, even though I don't fully believe it. You know, um, but I don't know. It's cool. Like I'm gonna be going to Panthers games for like cheap. Like the Panthers play like this Sunday against the Bucks, right? I'm pretty sure here in Carolina, and tickets like $60 to get in the building. Are you shitting me? Like I can't go because we're still jobless. Like unless Twitch wants to pay me, but no, we're still jobless. Like so we ain't going. But like $60 to go to a Charlotte game, and like there's tailgating spots all over the city. Like fucking cool ass city, man. It really is a cool ass city, straight up. And for anyone who wants to come navigate some noise down here in Charlotte, feel free to come join me. And there's scooters everywhere. Like I said, very accessible. I don't know. Life is good. Life is exciting. So we got about 15 minutes left of episode 11, and that's we're going a little. Oh, before we move on, shout out to Big Mike for finding good pizza in Charlotte, late night spot, King of Fire, excellent food. I got like a little like meat slice, little ranch on the side. Holy smokes! Or like a meat personal pie. Yeah, wasn't as good as New York pizza. I'll be keep it a buck with you, but it was still like absolute gas. And then there was also like an Irish chick online who tried to start a fight with Big Mike, and I don't know, it was just funny. Like I had to be the peacemaker. I'm not saying Mike was aggressive, but this lady really wanted the hands, and like, listen, I love my boy Mike, and I didn't feel like bailing his ass out of jail. So and he wasn't in the wrong. It was just kind of like a wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. Girl had too many, vodka cranberries, and this is where we're at. But Big Mike showed a lot of composure and a lot of impulse control. But yeah, we went to King of Fire, is the pizza spot. It's cool. It's like right in a little food truck, King of Fire, food truck, pizza, Charlotte. Shout out. Helped me navigate my early loud noise in Charlotte. But I'm going to spend the last like 15 minutes or so to talk about New Year's because it's around the corner and kind of reflect on 2025 and what to expect for 2026. So, what's funny, Ace? I went up to Peacock and Mike were at the bar, and like our boy Ferris is going to get drinks. There was like a group of 4 girls, and I was just like joking around with them, like, "Yo, you guys can't be scared. You just got to be confident talking to the ladies." And they were like, "All right, just go be confident. Zach. Go talk to those 4 girls right now." And I'm like, "All right, let's do it." So I walked up to these 4 girls, and as I'm walking up to them, I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go." I just walked into there, and I'm like, "Yo, listen, I just moved down here." I'm like, "What's the best pizza spot down in Charlotte? Do any of you guys have any recommendations?" And they actually said Do Amici. So you're now the second person to say that. So like we're ripping that shit. So yeah. Yeah, it was not a good scene. They were very not they weren't feeling the stash, I think. So I don't know. We might have to call an audible on the stash too. But sorry, I get a little off topic. As we get to 2025 heading into 2026, a lot of things to reflect on. It was just over 13 and a half, 14 months ago that I was homeless in like a facility. And now I'm living in Charlotte, and um I have a new life that's kind of forming here for me. And with that, 2026, I was joking around with all the boys when we were on Long Island before I got here. It's like, it's going to be our year. It's going to be the best year yet. And I really genuinely feel like that. And, I posted on my Navigating the Noise podcast page yesterday, and I was talking about how, or 2 days ago, I think it was, and I was mentioning how, it doesn't need to be New Year's, like a certain date to like have a resolution and to start over. But since it is New Year's and it is that time and it is part of that, time of the year where that culture is, upon us, I guess my challenge to myself and to all my viewers is why not January 1st be a good day to start changing your life and stick with it. Like go for it. Like, actually go for it. Because, like, I'm going to go for what my New Year's resolution is. I'm going to stick to it. And I have two good friends that are going to hold me to it. And it's going to be stressful as hell. And I'm going to be super not thrilled about it because I'm going to be super antsy and tight and stressed. And like I said, but I plan on quitting nicotine. So that's going to be my New Year's resolution, is to quit cigarettes and quit nicotine. And is it going to be easy? No. It's going to be extremely difficult. But I'm a firm believer in it, that if you put your mindset to something and if you truly want change, you can accomplish it. Like, if you want to lose weight, go do it. Like, it's all mental, you know? And like, withdrawal is real. Like, is my body going to withdraw from the actual nicotine? Like, yeah, absolutely. But like, if I'm super strong with it and I have like people who are rooting for me and saying, yo, you can do this shit. Like, you don't need that fucking Newport. You don't need that vape rip. Like, and I can convince myself, like, you know what, you're right. I don't. I can find other ways to get stress relief. I can meditate more often. You know, I could do more controlled breathing exercises. You know, I could chew on some straws or candy. So I'm gonna give it a go. And guess what? If I screw up, am I gonna like hate myself and give up totally and be like, nah, screw that, like whatever, like I'm a failure? Like, because no, honestly, maybe just pick up the next day. I don't know. I'm not manifesting failure. But all I'm saying is that like I feel like so many people are afraid to like start a task like this because they're afraid of failure and what's gonna happen if they don't accomplish it. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Like, I'm not gonna start quoting people now because like then I'm like there's no point of listening to my podcast or stream. You could just go listen to them. But like the reason why I listen to Navigating the Noise is because it's got my unique spin on it, and we're just finding our ways as a group and as a family to navigate, you know, the loud noises that come with life. But Mark Cuban always says, all you gotta do is get it right once. So you may have tried to quit fucking cigarettes 3, 4, 5, 9, 12 times in your life. You know, all you gotta do is get it right once. You know, I had a really incredible conversation with someone who was a part of like the rehab mental health community. And he spent, I think it was over 22 times he spent, or like 22 different facilities between rehabs and psych wards and clinics. 22. He got it right on the 23rd time. And now, like, I'm not going to speak on those details because it's his life and his personal story. But now, like, he's used his experience and now he's changing the world and lives for others. And he's very successful at doing that. All you got to do is get it right once. So if you want to go lose that weight, yo, stop buying the freaking Pepsi and start going to diet. You know, you don't need those extra cookies at the end of the night. Although, bro, you know me, Big Dog loves his chocolate chip cookies. Ooh, but go do it. Like nothing's stopping you. 100%. Like just go rip it. You know, I like that, navigating the boys. So yeah, Zachy Z plans on quitting nicotine for 2026 fully, fully. It's gonna be tough because y'all know me, Tony Rowe especially, man. Like me and my guy Tony Rowe, and shout out Tony Rowe is gonna be quitting nicotine too. I think he already did. Hope you're still sticking to that. I'll text you on the side. But you know, we were ripping Newports outside Johnny McGoy's, and now like, let's go, let's do it. We're gonna do it. So yeah, no more cigarettes. 2026. That's the plan. Um, does anyone have any New Year's resolutions in the like that are watching that I want to share with them in the chat? Anyone have any New Year's resolutions they want to share in the chat? In the chat, I don't know. We got a decent amount of people in here, not as much as the last couple of weeks. I understand it's the holidays and whatnot, but anyone in the chat, we're gonna give everyone a second to kind of see what's going on if they want to share. All right. Anything? Hello in the chat. Any New Year's resolutions we want to share? Oh, I love that, Johnny. Lose 50 pounds. Yo, Johnny, hell yeah, dude. I appreciate you sharing, dude. That's incredible, man. So, Johnny, as someone who's, you know, not, I'm not, don't take, this is not current advice from me now because clearly I got some weight to lose myself. But, Johnny, cutting out all sugars is super important. Sugars is something that I think is very reasonable, and you'll start to see results very quickly. So I think that's one thing you can definitely do. 100%. I'm gonna steal Chrissy Cable's kidneys. Listen, man. Listen, I'm pretty sure that's a felony. Stealing body parts, especially kidneys. I'm pretty sure those are really wanted on the market. So good luck with that. Win a title at the Queens Lake U and no more women with children in 2026. Yeah, listen. Um, I want you to go win a title, Candy. Listen, we're in a cold world, and I feel like we turn on the news every day, and there's something with an adult being with a minor, or um, people shooting each other due to racism and genocide, or more wars, or there's so much shit just going on in the world, and that's part of why I started this podcast, is to help all of us navigate through crisis and through this chaos. And I'm sure that there are people who are being affected by things that are happening in everyday life. And then I'm sure that there are people who aren't really impacted by the things that are going on, but that still tune in. But that's the goal of this stream and this podcast, to provide some entertainment, some laughs, and some giggles for y'all, but also to, you know, help those who are in need. And if I can impact at least one person through this each episode, that's my goal. And shout out to Johnny Perna. He reached out to me a couple days ago just saying how some of the things that I was sharing and the messages that I've been, relaying have helped him. Um, you know, there are other people who've been reaching out to me all throughout this process, just saying, "Hey, brother, I just want to let you know I've been following your journey, and you never really understand and know how mental health is going to impact you or affect you until it kind of hits you in the face yourself." And I hope to use my platform as, you know, something that it truly is an effective usage of spreading awareness for mental health and to help break the stigma, but just let people know that it's okay to not feel okay. And you're gonna have off days, and that's totally normal. And you shouldn't feel alarmed by that. I feel like so many times in life, everyone expects us to be perfect and expects us to kind of get it all right. And that's not realistic and that's not reasonable. So stop like setting that standard for yourself. When you're allowed to have a high standard and high expectation, but you're a human being. You got feelings, yo. You got feelings, you got emotions. Like everyone who's watching is a human being. You are the same as me, is the same as Big Mike, is the same as Peacock, as the same as the bartender at Tiber Brewery that I was at, the same as the guy who made my pizza on Saturday night. We're all feelings, we're all human. So I guess I want just everyone to know that it's okay to not be okay. And I hope that in 2026, as a big family, a navigating family, we're able to navigate some noise together, and we're really able to break the stigma, and we're really, really able to kind of make a change and make some noise while navigating some noise. If that makes sense. And I'm so stoked for what's to come, man. I am jacked up, hyped. And I am trying to find the right way to announce it, and how to announce it, and it's not 100% confirmed, but it's 98% confirmed. So I'm kind of just sitting here and like a little kid on Christmas morning, and I don't really know what to do, and but before I get to that, I hope you all throw that pizza place a curveball and ask for a cold cheese slice. Bro, I could go crazy for a cold cheese slice right now. Yo, Aaron, first of all, tell the folks how good the curveball was. Bro, first time you met me, bro, I ripped a curveball, and you're like, oh, shit, that shit was gas, bro. Come on. Let the crowd know. Come on. Come on. Let them know. Let them know. And, yeah, where's Biagini, bro? What is this? I didn't know Wes Welker came out of Massapequa. Biagini out of the slot, bro. Running, slants out of the slot. Not better than mine, and that's all you need to know. Dude, you literally, in high school, you played the School of the Blind, bro. What's up with the stash? My guy, My guy, what's up with the stash? Electro, nice of you to join us. It's 8 p.m. Congrats on the big news, by the way, my boy. But yeah, bro, you missed the whole episode. I got to send you the YouTube link. But what's up with the stash? New city, new stash, new facial hair. Change things up, you know. Saltwater, hey, what's up, girl? I wish you guys got here earlier. The stream's like over. Love you guys, though. I'll hit you guys up after. I'll send you guys the YouTube link, all right? But yeah, it's weird. You didn't get it. I put it in like the Discord. It's all good though. I'll send you the YouTube link and shit. But I don't know. New Year's is around the corner. I think 2026 has some big things for us. And nah, Electro, I'm in my boy's apartment, bro. When you watch back the episode, it'll all make sense, brother. It'll all make sense. But in 2026, I hope everyone kind of meets their goals and their expectations of what they set. And I would love for those of you who are setting New Year's resolutions and goals to, if you feel comfortable enough, to hit me up, whether it's my personal page or on the Navigating the Noise Instagram page, and to keep in touch with me with your goals. And I love to kind of root you on and talk about your process as I kind of go through mine, because I think it's important that everyone has people around them to talk to. And like one of the things that I need to look for when I get down here is a therapist. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to find literally a accurate and therapist who I can trust, who I can go to with my feelings. And I know there are some people who feel like they don't need therapy, or they can't afford therapy, or they're embarrassed to go to therapy. But I also kind of want Navigating the Noise, and not just me personally, but eventually this page to be a place where people can go to and vent about their life's problems and their feelings, because life is real and people do go through shit. Like if you looked at me like in college, just off the rip, you never had a conversation with me, you'd be like 6'3", 6'4" in Tim's, nice, beautiful blue eyes, athlete. Maybe if I just got a haircut, I was like 230, 235, 240. Then I was throwing up weight. You'd be like, damn, this kid's got it all together. And now I'm doing a podcast talking about life and navigating noise and mental health. So if I could kind of rebound from life crisis and kind of go through and navigate this noise, anybody can. So I want this place to kind of be a safe haven for you all. Because if I feel comfortable enough sharing my story with you all and where I'm at, I hope maybe one day you all feel comfortable enough to do that too. So we're just over a little bit over the hour. I kind of planned on wanting to talk about New Year's a little bit more and like the culture and festivities of New Year's, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. But I do have a big announcement for you all. So moving forward with Navigating the Noise, I'm still kind of in the search for an official quote unquote co-host. I'm still kind of navigating that noise and figuring out what the best route and option is. However, the goal moving forward is over the past couple of weeks, I've had a lot of time to think and reflect about how I want this page to look like and how I want Navigating the Noise to operate in 2026, because it's a new year. And like I said, we started this on October 7th. It was our first episode. So we're a little over, how many months is that? 3 months, So we're very new, and I just feel like we're still finding our identity as a group and as a page. And I had a very insanely cool conversation on, the night before Christmas Eve, December 23rd. And essentially it was someone who I invited on to be a guest, our first official guest of the podcast. And this person is someone who I grew up with in the same town. I am a little bit older than him, but I had the privilege of coaching him throughout his years of playing. And so I was able to develop a really cool relationship with this dude. And I was able to find him out at the local bar, Johnny McGorry's. And my buddy Andrew Ditzel says is like, there's no such thing as coincidences. So that's all I'm really going to say on that. But through this conversation with this dude, you know, uh, he said that he wanted to come on the podcast and wanted to be like my first official guest. And he said that he really, really, really likes the mission and what I'm doing. And he called me a dog, which was cool. I was like, "You're a dog for what you got going on and like for getting through all what you got." And anyway, he and me chopped it up a little bit more and we talked about it. And he agreed like verbally. And then he did over text say that we are good to go for next week, January 6th. So, however, he did mention that along with him, that there might be a possibility of him bringing on two other people that he is close with, who also kind of heavily align with the mission and what we've got going with navigating the noise. So that's why I just haven't said any names um, of anybody yet, just out of due respect for them and what they got going on, and because they're a little bit more of like high profile people, I guess it's fair to say. And that's why like this whole process has been just very like amazing, and I've been truly blessed because like some things have happened over the past 6 weeks that I could never have truly thought of and dreamed of. um so to kind of wrap up today's episode, um what I would love for everyone to do who is with us navigating, and has been navigating through, this episode and through Zach's journey, please, please, please be on the lookout for any announcements on my personal page and the Navigating the Noise page. Um, Moving forward, what the plan is for us at Navigating the Noise to start to bring on guests each week. And as we bring on these guests each week, obviously the game plan is to talk to them about who they are personally and their life experiences. But the guests that we do plan on bringing on are just individuals who are, successful in life, and whether that could be successful monetarily, socially, in their personal lives, regardless, we're all human. But they're individuals who have had success in life and that are willing to come on the podcast and talk about their experiences navigating through some difficult life circumstances and through navigation of life's adversity and struggles. And, I know talking about mental health openly on a platform is not an easy task. So, like I said, it isn't for everyone, but there have been some people that have reached out to me and so that they feel comfortable on coming on. And like I said, the whole focus is not going to just be about mental health and overcoming adversity, but that is a big focus of it. But I just want this the place to be for people to vibe, feel good, spread love and positivity. So we actually have, like I said, one guest officially booked for January 20th, and I'm not going to announce his name yet. But oh, yo, yo, dude, did you forget what time it was? Yo, Swam, I told this dude to come on at 7 p.m. and he shows up at 8:07, bro. Judge, did you just come on, bro, or you been here the whole time? You asshole. But we actually do have a guest lined up for January 20th. Um, not next week, but on January 20th, Mr. Andrew Judge, aka Little Toaster, is his Instagram name. He's going to be joining us on January 20th at 7 p.m. live via Twitch. Oh, he's been here. Why didn't you say anything in the chat then, you clown? I love you, Judge. Happy that you've been here. But like I said, TBD for your next week. Stay on the lookout for updates. But my boy Andrew Judge, aka Little Toaster, is going to be joining us on Navigating the Noise podcast on January 20th at 7 p.m. Andrew, I have a lot of admiration for, and I actually called him right when I kind of made this decision to kind of move down to Charlotte, and he's been following along the podcast because Andrew was one of those people who kind of bet on himself and took a life chance and moved from Long Island and Long Beach, where he grew up, to LA to pursue, goals and dreams of his own. And I feel like he has faced a lot of the same noise and a lot of the same um, voices that and doubters that I maybe have had recently. And he's a genuinely good dude, and he deserves every good last thing that comes his way. So I'm super proud of him for kind of making his ass out to and getting out to LA and restarting his life out there. And I'm super stoked to have my boy Andrew Little Toaster on January 20th. He's going to share a little bit about his life story, his life experience, how he kind of navigated noise out in LA, and how he's finding success out there as a young professional in the media film world. And for those of you who are into a little bit of like comedy and like, good banter and humor TV shows, Andrew was actually just filming a TV show. I believe it's called Friend Zoned, right, Andrew? If you're still in the chat, Friend Zoned via Tubi TV. So if you go over to Tubi TV and you go over to season 3 of Friend Zone, you'll see my boy Andrew there. And he'll be joining us on January 20th to talk all about himself, his journey, and everything that he has going on with him. But for next week, please stay tuned and stay in touch for what's to come. Big news, as in like we are going to have some amazing, influential, bold, incredible people start to come on this podcast. Hopefully that is the plan. And hopefully they come join us and share their stories and positivity and their love. And all I'm going to say is this, I'm going to exclusively talk shit about Aaron. Yo, Andrew, we could have like a 10-minute segment where we could just talk shit about Aaron if you're with that. All right. That's funny. But nah, big things are planned ahead for us in the year 2026, especially with navigating the noise. Like I said, the guests that I have planned for next week is super incredible. The people that he might have on are super incredible. My buddy Andrew is super incredible. And I'm also in the conversation with some other people who have some interest in coming on. And like I said, the goal is to just build one happy, beautiful community that is a big family. So thank you all for joining us here for episode 11 of Navigating the Noise. I know that with the holidays and with everything going on, it might not have been easy for all of you to kind of make it and show up. And overall, the turnout was still pretty solid. So thank you all. And like I said, if you were popping in and out and you weren't able to catch the episode fully live, the YouTube link will be uploaded shortly, and pop on that and kind of navigate some noise on your own time. I hope all of you have a lovely New Year's. I hope you all spend some time with some loved ones. And if you are someone who, when that ball drops at 12:01, someone who, or 12, but then at 12:01, you're someone who is like, oh, I got a New Year's resolution. Go freaking do it. Get after it, big dog. Get after it. Go get some. Go get what's yours. And like I said, if you need any motivation or help to kind of push you towards your goal and to push you towards where you need to go, I help you get there. I help you navigate that noise. Stay tuned for announcements. Stay tuned for what's to come for navigating the noise. Like I said, TBD on who and what will be discussed on January 6th. Stay tuned for the socials. I hope everyone stays safe, has a great New Year's. If you're drinking, please don't drive. Call an Uber. Uber's on Aaron, actually. I'll drop Aaron's phone number and Venmo on the Navigating the Noise page. If you need an Uber home on New Year's Eve, ask Aaron, and Ubers are on Swami Sports. So thanks, Aaron. I appreciate that offer. All right. Love you all for joining us. Thank you, guys. Hope you all navigate some noise. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.